Gold has always been the ultimate symbol of wealth. For thousands of years, it has been the foundation of empires, the currency of kings, and the ultimate safe haven in times of crisis. Nations have gone to war over it. Fortunes have been made and lost because of it. And even today, in the digital age, gold is still seen as the ultimate store of value. But what if we told you the gold people are investing in today isn't even real gold? The bars you think you own, the digital certificates sitting in your account, are they truly backed by solid, physical gold? Think about it. When was the last time you actually held gold in your hands? Most people today invest in gold ETFs, digital gold, or futures contracts, essentially paper claims that promise you own gold. But do you really? If everyone holding these paper claims decided to redeem them at the same time, do you think there would be enough physical gold to back them up? Let's break it down. When you buy gold from a traditional jewelry store, you at least see the gold, hold it, and know it exists. But when people invest in gold through financial instruments like ETFs, they're essentially buying a digital representation of gold, not actual gold stored in a vault with their name on it. These instruments are backed by gold reserves. But here's the problem. There's often more paper gold in circulation than the actual physical gold available. This means that if there were a sudden rush of investors wanting to convert their gold holdings into physical gold, many would be left empty-handed. This is because banks, brokers, and financial institutions often practice what's called fractional reserve gold ownership. This works similarly to how banks operate with money. When you deposit money in a bank, they don't actually keep all your cash sitting in a vault. They lend it out, invest it, and only hold a fraction of it as reserves. The same thing happens with gold. Financial institutions issue gold-backed assets, but keep only a small percentage of real gold on hand to cover potential withdrawals. This system works as long as not everyone demands their gold at the same time. But if a financial crisis were to happen, or confidence in the system were to collapse, a mass redemption of gold contracts could expose a shortage of real gold. You might be wondering, who even owns the physical gold then? Large institutions like central banks, hedge funds, and billionaires are the ones who actually hold vast quantities of real gold in secured vaults. In contrast, the average retail investor is often left with just a digital certificate, which can be revoked, frozen, or subject to counterparty risk. This means that while people think they own gold, they are really just trusting a financial institution to deliver that gold if and when they ask for it. And history has shown us that in times of economic crisis, that trust is often misplaced. Take the 2008 financial crisis, for example. As markets collapsed, gold demand surged as people rushed to move their wealth into something stable. But a shocking thing happened. Some investors who thought they had gold discovered they couldn't actually take physical delivery of it. Many paper gold contracts were simply settled in cash because the institutions didn't have enough physical gold to back up the promises they had made. In other words, when people needed their gold the most, it wasn't there. This raises a massive question. Is digital gold even real gold? The truth is, when you buy into gold ETFs, gold futures, or gold-backed securities, you're essentially buying a promise, not a tangible asset you can hold in your hands. This is why serious investors, billionaires, and countries prefer to own real gold bars stored in secure vaults or private reserves. They don't trust paper promises. They trust something they can physically possess. Another major issue is gold leasing. Banks and financial institutions often lease out gold, meaning the same gold bar could have multiple claims on it. This creates a layered risk where several investors think they own the same piece of gold. It's like selling 10 people the same house with a different title deed for each of them. The deception only unravels when everyone tries to claim it at once. Another overlooked issue is the purity of gold itself. When people buy physical gold, they assume it's 100% pure, but that's rarely the case. Many gold bars and coins contain alloys mixed in to strengthen them, which means their actual gold content varies. Even gold stored in bank vaults isn't always 24-karat pure. Some institutions store lower quality gold that might not be accepted everywhere. This becomes a massive issue during financial crisis. Investors expecting pure gold may find themselves holding something worth far less. So even if you do own physical gold, do you really know what you have? Now, let's talk about how gold is actually stored and traded. Some of the world's largest gold reserves are held in Fort Knox, the Bank of England, and Swiss private vaults. These institutions store gold in massive underground vaults. Meanwhile, the gold market operates mostly on trust, with paper contracts and digital transactions moving billions of dollars worth of gold every day. This system makes it easy to trade gold quickly, but it also separates gold ownership from actual gold possession. So, what does this mean for you? If you truly want to own gold, you have to physically possess it. This means buying gold bars, coins, or bullion and storing it in a place that is secure and accessible. Many investors use private vaults, home safes, or offshore storage to ensure they have direct control over their gold. Another option is allocated gold accounts, which guarantee that specific gold bars belong to you rather than just a pooled asset in a financial system. But let's be honest. Buying and storing real gold is not convenient. It's expensive, it requires security, and it's not as easy as clicking a button to buy digital gold. That's why most people settle for paper gold or gold-backed investments. The problem is that these investments are only as reliable as the system backing them. And history has shown us that systems can fail, banks can collapse, and financial institutions can default. The scary part, even governments can confiscate gold. In 1933, during the Great Depression, the US government issued Executive Order 6102, forcing citizens to turn in their gold to the Federal Reserve in exchange for paper money. It became illegal for private individuals to own significant amounts of gold, and those who refused risked fines or imprisonment. Could something like this happen again? While unlikely, history has a way of repeating itself, especially in times of economic instability. So, what's the takeaway here? The gold you think you own may not really exist in the way you imagine. If your gold investment is just a number on a screen, there's a good chance you don't actually own physical gold. You own a promise. And in times of crisis, promises can be broken. That's why seasoned investors insist on owning gold you can see, touch, and store yourself. The further removed your gold investment is from physical reality, the higher the risk that it could disappear when you need it most. If this video opened your eyes to the realities of the gold market, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. What are your thoughts? Do you own physical gold, or are you relying on digital gold investments? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.